So I got my onions picked. I came from there. It's really weedy. But I'm thinking that maybe 300 onions was a little bit much when the gator box is heaping full. Super nice onions though. So now I gotta go put them up in the loft for drying. And welcome to Hannah's backyard. I'm out here in my neglected cucumber patch. I've done terrible at training things this year up the... There's a beautiful bee in there. So yeah, I haven't been doing the best at keeping up with my cucumbers. I got picklers and the Tanya. And these ones are like really nice cucumbers, but I've been letting them get away from me. And I've done far less plants, so I'm trying to figure out how many I actually need in a summer, because it's basically just me and my husband that eat them, so we don't need so many. But this hasn't been too bad. The dog likes them, so she takes a lot of them. But my picklers, I haven't made pickles at all this year yet, and to be honest, I still have some in my pantry, and I don't know if I'm going to grow picklers next year. I don't think I'm going to do it. So I'll have to figure out what else to put on the other side of the trellis of where I do my cucumbers. Or just think of like, maybe just do a straight line. Speaking of the dog eating cucumbers, he apparently stole one without me seeing it. So anyway, I skipped a week because it was so hot and so buggy that I didn't even want to come out here. And my garden got a little out of control, but it's still doing okay. We had a storm hit, a pretty good storm. 2 miles up the road they had tons of trees down, and we fared very well for that. We haven't only had a couple trees come down by the creek, and they're like a crack willow, so they just kind of break anytime it gets windy. But my garden held up really well. You'll notice that I did lose almost all of my sunflowers, but where I had them placed almost protected everything else from getting blown over, so that worked out really well. My tomatoes are looking good. I did lose a few corn stalks to the wind, but otherwise everything's looking really well. So I will take you along through and show you the progress of the garden. Okay, so the zinnias, they're kind of getting taken over by the tomatillo. Spacing, you know, that's the hardest thing. You forget how big things are. And then once they get blown around, like this has gotten blown over. I had sunflowers here and they are now gone. And it did kind of blow these and mangle them a little bit. And that tomato, excuse me. Excuse me. But this one, I think it's going to be one of those get stuffed ones, just from the shapes of it. This was that mystery one I wasn't sure about. And then you can see here, this tomatillo is just really shoved that way where the wind came. But it's still doing okay. Luckily, I staked them. And we are starting to get, well, this one's not really. The thing is about these, they're really hard to move around. Like, I feel like when I move them, I'll break them very easily. So this one over here is creating a whole bunch. But anyway, okay, so the California Wonders, a couple of these got knocked straight down, and they came right back up, so that's good. Let's see, they don't produce as well as King of the North, but I have some really nice, well, here, I'll pull this one off right now, maybe. It's hard to do one-handed. Pretty nice bell peppers. And I'm actually gonna pick some because I wanted to start freezing some, and I was thinking of making stuffed peppers one of these days. It's one of my favorite meals in the garden when I start getting a lot of bell peppers. So, but yeah, so these, I mean, they're producing. The California Wonders are producing, but wait till I show you the King of the North and the difference. Oh, this one's big. That one's gotta go. Maybe it's not big. It was just kind of how it was wedged in there. And don't get me wrong, they're beautiful peppers, but oh, check this out. These are my cherries, and I figured out, I believe, well, I don't know, maybe these are the Hartman's yellow because they look pretty yellow to me. So I've had some issues. I sold a few plants, and that one's not good. Sold a few plants, and they came out like this one over here that is totally not a cherry tomato. And I was thinking it was a Hartman's yellow, but oh, wow, these are nice. Look at that. I should try one. They're kind of a large cherry tomato. Yeah, they're either honeycomb or Hartman's yellow, and I'm thinking as yellow as they are, well, that one's not good either, as they are when they're ripe, I'm thinking it's the Hartman's yellow. How many times can you say Hartman's yellow, huh? Okay, so really nice clusters of tomatoes, and pretty soon, once they all start ripening, there's going to be a lot. So I haven't been pruning my tomatoes very much either. I find this interesting. There's gotta be some kind of bug in there chewing on them leaves. But okay, let's go back around. I'll set these here by my peppers. I'm gonna try one. Well, those are sweet. The smoothies in these, beautiful. I really gotta cut some and get some bouquets so we keep getting more. These are the Caballeros, and I've picked quite a few of them. This one didn't really produce any lower on the plant, but oh man, they're getting a little tight to see in there, but there's a couple in there. And then I have these two Serrano plants, and this one's just loaded with flowers, and it has some. These are more, there's gonna be a salsa pepper. I haven't had any of them yet, eaten any, but the Durangos, they're kind of like an Anaheim. They look a little bit like that. Just waiting for them to ripen. I've used a couple. And this is my collard greens. The moss, cabbage moss, are really going to town on them now. I was gonna pull them, but I'm trying to get them, like, let's eat this and leave my poor dinosaur kale alone over there. But that's not happening. Wow, this is just loaded with bees. I don't know if you can see them all. Pollinate, little buddies. So I started to have a little bit of damage on this. I believed it was from the squash bugs. So yeah, so the cabbage is done. So I figured, let's let this guy come on out. And it's doing it. I have tons of pumpkins on there. I'll go through the tunnel here and show you in a bit. But it's definitely covered the trellis. Cucumbers have a lot of catching up to do. So jalapenos, they're really starting to produce. They're in there. I have one almost every night in something that I make. I just love them. Now this is an Anaheim plant. Okay, we're finally starting to get some on there. I was getting nothing. The second one over there producing. And then here's my paprika. They're fun little peppers. And then the same with the cayennes. Okay, they're starting to get a few in there. My Martino's Roma, this plant is just so beautiful. I did not trim it up, as you can see. I just it is in a cage, but I kind of just let it do its thing. And then this is my celery. It's starting to die back, so I'm thinking now is the time to harvest it. And those Japanese beetles have now made an appearance. So I think I'm gonna come out today, actually, and harvest this celery and can it and freeze it. So that's the goal today. I have the day off, so I might as well take advantage of it. And now we got some tomatoes. Now these were supposed to be either the black crims or the mortgage lifters. And so looking at them, if you can see, those look like black crims, which is fine. But the problem on the other, here, I better pick that one. I was thinking of having BLTs one of these nights. Let's put it in the camera, huh? It's nice. The other ones also look kind of like black crims. I will take you down that way. So in the next week, yeah, and I have no clue. This one, to me, this one looks more like maybe a mortgage lifter, but they are smaller, almost like a cherry tomato, but they're red. So I've had more mismatched or mismarked packs this year than ever. Okay, and that corn, I'm starting to get some silks on it. They're getting little heads. This is the Gotta Have It. My amaranth, I don't know. I've eaten it a little bit, but I don't know. It's different. But yeah, the corn's looking really well. And let's see. I'm gonna try to pause you for a second. Alright, so coming back from the very beginning to show you all the pumpkins. There's quite a few in here. There's a couple in there turning orange. This turned out to be way more of a jungle than I wanted it to be. You always think you can control a pumpkin until you can't control the pumpkin. So, actually, like I said, none of my squash has been very well behaved this year. Okay, Tomato Alley. Yeah, look at this. Even after the storm we had with all the winds, it did not knock down any of this cherry tomato. This is all one cherry tomato. All of that is one plant. There's her stem right there. Then this little guy here. But it's huge. That's probably the biggest cherry tomato plant I've ever had. And my hand is fully extended. So I'd say it's at least 6 feet right now. But, okay, enough about this row of tomatoes. So here we are in the zucchini cluster. I have some golden zucchini in here, some gray zucchini. They're not producing the best. Some yellow straight neck. And then now I've started seeing some little, I don't know if they're a white scalloped, if that's what you'd call them, or patty pans. It depends on who you're asking, I guess. But, oh, there's some gray zucchini. I get to cut this. Look at all them little baby squash bugs. Ew. Oh. There's a little scalloped one there. I believe patty pans are yellow. So last year I kept calling them patty pans, and oh, there's a big one. Straight neck there. I gotta come in here and pick some of those. So this was my lettuce venture. And oh, maybe there's little bits coming. I hate waiting because then you get all these weeds. I don't know if well, and this helps, the dog walking right through it. If I just planted too deep, I'm not sure. But I'm not really seeing any, and it's been 2 weeks. So I'm just gonna walk out here, and I do see some here. So I gotta do some weeding to expose those a little bit more to the sun. But the seed tape that I put down Oh, there's one. That really got washed. That is not even where it's supposed to be. So I don't know. Oh, let me back up again. Sorry for the view. This is where my dill was. So it got laid out. You can kind of see that sunflower over there is laying down. Everything was pushed up against my watermelon. And there's my basil. That's looking good. It was seeding out. So I'm like, it's time to get this out of there. I'm hoping that maybe we'll get a second batch. Maybe some reseeded. But now I can actually show you my watermelon, and look at how many I have over here. These are the petite yellow. They're in there. They're doing pretty good. I got some on the other side too. And I'm just gonna let this come down just like the pumpkin did. But they're doing really well, and I'm hoping that the dill don't dry them out. They get shade on this side from the tree and stuff, but yeah, over here, I gotta start putting little satchels on them, or a little netting or something to hold them so they don't just all start falling. But really nice watermelon so far. And then this side is behind, but here's a nice size one. Oop. We're getting some on here too. And this one has not been cooperative from the very get-go. But I'm starting to contain it. And then I also let him, let me go through here, come out where the cabbage was. I'm just going to let him sprawl this way. So there's more littler ones out here. So I'm hoping I'll actually get some watermelon this year. One of my dinosaur kales rotted and died. I think it just wasn't getting enough air circulation because of how dense everything was. That one's doing a little bit better now that the dill's gone and some of the sunflowers. You can see how it's just got a little bit messed up. The butterscotch squash is rogue. It will not climb, but it will go through the rest of the garden, which, whatever. At this point, I'm just letting it do its thing. And we're getting, it's producing quite a bit in there. There's some in there. And this is the honey nut squash. And this one's climbing a little bit better. But even this is starting to do its own thing, which is fine. This somehow, oh, it's like, got a hole in it. Oh, there's a bee there. Hi, buddy. It's kind of like a mammoth, but it's only like 5 feet tall. That's odd. Hey! Oh, my dog's starting to dig. That's great. Cosmos. And then these are the moonshine sunflowers. I lost a couple, but that one up there is actually starting to flower. And broccoli is crazy. And apparently there's something in there my dog wants. Hey, buddy. Hey, come on out. Come on. Isa, come. Come on. Isa, come. Or go. Do something. Okay, so in here, I gotta figure out how to get in here. This is just kind of a big old mess here. I'm gonna go back around. My paths didn't work out quite the way I wanted them to. This is probably the wildest garden I've ever had, I think. And this collard green is actually doing pretty decent. But here, I wanted to show this one Romanesco. But it's really odd looking. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be. I've never grown it before. That's the only thing. Dog, get out of there. It's the only one that's doing anything. So I'm not quite sure what happened with it. Yeah. So I left the broccoli in here so the cabbage moths would kind of leave it alone and the Romanesco would get a chance, which the leaves are looking pretty decent. But this has kind of been a bust. I remembered why I don't grow broccoli. So, oh, and here, okay, I am right. These are the mortgage lifters here. The other ones are black crim. That's a nice one. I think I'll pick that one too. Come on, buddy. Ugh. Dog, you're being really annoying. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to come back and get that. I can't do it one-handed. So they're starting to produce as well. And Amish paste, they're even starting to turn. I'm about ready to have a handful here. These, every year, Amish paste, they are uncontrollable. No matter how much I try to contain, they go wild. Which is okay. Yeah, look at some of these really nice tomatoes. This plant is, Isa is loaded. And then here's this that's supposed to be an Amish paste, and it is totally not. I'm wondering if it's some kind of a white tomato. But the plant itself, it's not a white tomato. It's got a little blush coming there. It's just tiny. I don't know. Not sure what to think. Oh, there's some really nice Amish paste tomatoes. Okay, I have to pause this and get... Okay, had to get the dog out. This turned out to be a little longer. So this plant got a little bit mangled, but it still has tons of peppers on it. Okay, so I wanted to show you the difference between the California Wonders and the King of the North. So, you can see this one's got like probably 10 peppers on it. And that one too. Which I'm a little sad that I bought, this one's loaded, California Wonders already for next year. So this is the Tangerine Dream. And there's a whole bunch of peppers. None of them are orange yet. But these got a little overrun with the sunflowers, I think. So, yeah. The cannas, they're doing okay here. They're not flowering or anything yet. The Japanese beetles absolutely love these things. That's what that is there, all that damage. But I'd rather have that than my food, I guess. And then, yeah, sunflowers, gone. These are the red suns. This is what's left. They're kind of pretty. That's kind of a cool pre-opening stage. If you hear airplanes, it's because EAA is going on, and I'm about 15 miles from there, and they fly over me all the time. You can't even see it, so anyway. So this one's all that's left. That dog. Oh, here's the biggest thing. I pulled my onions, all 300 of them. This is what's kind of left that I have to get out of the garden. So I weeded it, and I think I'm going to plant fall carrots here. I got a free seed pack from Baker Creek of a weird kind of variety, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to dig these ones out today because they seem to be ready. The other zucchini patch, more straight neck, and that one got big, so it's going to get cut up for the chickens. And I got the white scalloped ones in here. My sunflowers laid down right in it. This is just kind of, everything's a mess right now. My parsley, that's doing well. Swiss chard, it's okay. I cut it a lot. I use it all in a lot of dishes, so it's good. The flowering kale, I won't do that again. That was kind of I didn't really need that. My Merlot lettuce over there, it's good also. Man, I gotta weed this garden. And then the kale, I still pick it, but I don't think I need 3 plants of kale. There's so much. And the chickens love it, so I need to come down and just cut a whole bunch and give it to the chickens. I removed my volunteer tomato because it was laying down on my garlic. I dug up a couple garlics, and they're not quite ready. At least those weren't. And we had like 3 inches of rain, 2 or 3 inches of rain, and it was just, they're a little wet in there, so I wanted to wait. I left a couple of the scapes on. I'm hoping to get some seed. But the rest, it's about time. I'm thinking next week will be the time. Because I was able to eat them, but they just weren't quite ready. And then I left this onion in there because it started to flower. So I'm going to work on getting some seeds from that. So my gladiolas flowered. They were beautiful, and they're all, you can see, laying in the direction of the wind that blew them. But they're really pretty. Look at these ones. So I'm excited for them to keep multiplying because those are the hardy glads, so I won't have to remove them. So my mojito mint is huge. My Greek oregano is being overtaken with grass. Thyme. I've weeded this so many times, I don't even know why I bothered putting mulch down. I'm very upset about it. I did a good 3 to 4 inches of mulch, and it did absolutely, well, it did stuff, I guess, but I like hoeing better, and I can't hoe this. So I'm really disappointed in mulch. It reminded me why I don't do it. This here is a huge jungle, and I'm very sad about this as well. I like flowers and stuff, but the grass just took over, and even my strawberries. So I have to figure out a type of mulch that does a little bit better. I don't know, or more, I guess, but this stuff, I'm not a fan of it. It's really big, and when you try to pull weeds, it hurts. So you have to get down in there. So I have my basil is getting overtaken by the mint. This whole mint patch thing is ridiculous. More oregano over here. This is Italian oregano, lemon balm, the echinaceas. This just, I'm not the happiest about this section of garden. I have quite a few volunteer tomatoes, but anyway, all in all, the garden looks good from a distance, you know, but when you get into it, it's kind of messy. So I'll take you to the back bed and show you that. Okay, so my potatoes, well, they're dying back because the potato bugs annihilated them. So this year I'm gonna make sure that I freeze a lot and can a lot, so I don't need to plant potatoes for next year for sure. Like, I'm taking it off. Yeah. Luckily, I know I'll still get some potatoes, but at this point, my weeds are prettier than my plants, and that's really sad. So, but luckily they are dying off. It is the season. I got them in really early, so I know for a fact that I will have some produce in there. And it's pretty weedy in here. My muskmelon, or this is honeydew, it's now taking over. My cilantro looks like it's wanting to start to bolt. And cantaloupe, I'll go over here. I didn't see any cantaloupe. I do see a really nice honeydew. But yeah, this is just, it went rogue also. Like, everything's just crazy this year. So that's one honeydew. And the potato bugs are now on my honeydew because they ran out of food to eat, I'm assuming. I don't know if they'll eat this the way they do potatoes, but yeah, I think that's the only one I have. So that's a lot of plant for one dew. And cantaloupe, there's a bunch of little bitty ones on there, but I don't really see anything significant yet. So I'm not sure. We'll eventually hopefully start seeing something. And this corn is just starting to tassel. So I don't know. I'm thinking that things need a rest maybe next year. Over here, this was pretty heavily compost or manure. It's a really nice loose soil, but look at these bug damage. I just shredded. Well, that looks crazy. I don't know if that's from the wind or bugs. But anyway, yeah, you can see the bug damage even on my honeydew. I'm not happy about this at all. And I think it's got to be the potato bugs. Oh, there's another one. Little bitty one. So. Alright, well, that's it. It's a garden tour. There's the weed patch / potato patch. Oh, not good this year. But I will get produce out of it, so. Sometimes your garden just does not look good, no matter how hard you try. So, look at it. Not a cloud in the sky again. But our barn build is going well. This is where most of my attention has been for the horses. I can show you guys. I know it's not gardening pertained, but maybe you want to see it. I'm gonna have 3 runs out here coming out of the stalls, and I painted my T-post. I don't even know if you can see it with the sun, but I painted everything charcoal gray. They were kind of old rusty T-posts, repurposed them. And yeah, I got 3 stalls here. But yeah, this is where all of my energy has been going compared to the garden this year. So, okay. Have a good one, guys.